Alright. Jesus Christ, eh? One shouldn't think it'd be possible for some of the most powerful and influential states and intelligence agencies in this world finding it necessary, apparently, to conduct endless PSYOPs against me, Stephen Bell, to huge parts of the Western world especially. But unfortunately so, for me and for you, because this is fucking idiotic, that they feel necessary for them to run these campaigns against me. So, yeah, when they're not trying to associate and blame me for something that I have absolutely no involvement in, for example, this active shooter in Copenhagen on the 3rd of July, well, now they apparently feel it necessary again to supposedly talk about my sex life from way back when in 2010, when the program had just begun. And in this regard, of course, they are making all kinds of stories building upon the small facts that their propaganda campaign sometimes entail, and now they're just building on it endlessly. And of course, it's something that they always do: take some fragment of reality and just use it as a building block in their propaganda campaigns, and just go crazy. So there literally isn't anything that I'm supposedly not into in regards to sex and sexuality, and I even think they're going so far to call me a woman and what have you. And of course, anybody who knows and sees me in reality just instantaneously know that is just not even remotely plausible. I'm a man, and a proper one of that, and so. And they are just going absolutely crazy with their propaganda. And here in Denmark, the Danish state and its intelligence agency, PET, are using their state-funded media broadcasting service, Denmark's Radio, P3. I mean, hours and hours a day they're running PSYOPs to the people, in which I'm always being discredited, ridiculed or demonized, and it's just perpetual, endlessly, every single day. And the same in the States, they are doubling down again. So you have all of these supposed independent people and podcasters and media outlets who are just regurgitating the program's propaganda and PSYOPs word for word on command. And it's just so apparent how there is a system, an establishment, and if you're outside of the narrative of the establishment in whatever subject that may be, coronavirus, or it may be the social and political persecution of me, Stephen Bell, and the program, or it could be any number of things that the establishments have in their agenda. And if you go out of line in this regard, they will come after you. And not just the government itself and its cronies, but also all of these supposed independent media outlets and podcasters and so-called comedians. They will do exact the same thing. So they have the Western world have a really a broad range of people working on their behalf and interest, and no matter what the subject is. For example, it could be, as I say, the subjects that I have mentioned, or the Ukrainian war, or what have you. You're not allowed to know that Russia is actually winning the war right now, and the Ukrainians are just dying en masse, and the West is just using them as cannon fodder in their proxy war, instead of trying to come to some arrangement and stopping the war. These are kind of the sick and depraved things that the Western government and their cronies are endlessly perpetuating. And it's the same with the program. They are literally labeling me guilty for everything under the sun, and they are framing it in such a way that they are just saying all of these completely random and bizarre things that they are communicating over the program's real-time synthetic telepathy system. I'm to be blamed for, and they can just frame it in such a way to say that their propaganda or their propaganda narratives are my faults, and they are just rebroadcasting what they are picking up from from the microchips that they have implanted and are reading of me through electromagnetic communication systems, and they can make these virtual movie fabrications and just claim these are supposedly my dreams, and there really isn't any kind of limit to what they are willing to say. So for example, I have the other day I was subjected to a sexual assault through directed energy weapons, and it was right after I had made the video about them trying to associate me with this active shooter over in Copenhagen the 3rd of July, and me talking about how preposterous this was, and it was in retaliation for me publicizing documents relating to my institutionalization from 2002, and me sharing all of these documents disproving the government's endless claims of sex crimes and what have you, and it was in retaliation for that. So after I posted that video, and obviously it was completely censored, and the view counter is manipulated on Facebook and especially YouTube as well. It's phenomenal. I don't even it doesn't even appear to me to getting any views on YouTube, despite me having like 400 subscribers, and sharing the videos all over the internet on Facebook and whatnot. But after my video, and when I went to sleep, I was subjected to a sexual assault. I woke up like 3:30 in the morning Danish time, where I was being sexually assaulted remotely, of course, through directed energy weapons. I woke up and some kind of sick and depraved kind of otherworldly porn was being sent to me through synthetic telepathy. I was literally viewing a mental image that was completely foreign to me, and that I had no control over, while I was being stimulated, if you will, in my brain, and resulting in half a ejaculation, not like a proper one, it just kind of like a synthetic one, if you will. And I woke up being sexually assaulted remotely, and the first thing I did, of course, was to write about it on Facebook, just to get ahead of the propaganda campaigns that I knew that was going to be waged. So I don't know exactly what they have been claiming after I made my post about me being sexually assaulted by the CIA, which it most probably is. It's only the United States predominantly which have the technological capabilities to do these things remotely through electromagnetic weaponry, which are also named directed energy weapons. And so I don't know what they have been saying in response to them doing this to me, and response to me pointing it out to the world, but I am 100% sure that they are blaming me for what they were doing to me, and again, they were literally sexually assaulting me, and I'm bet anything that I have that they were blaming me for what they were doing to me. And again, we're back to these things that the CIA and the United States government are so well known for, literally sexually humiliating people and prisoners, and subjecting them to endless ridicule, only for their own laughs, and to discredit people, of course, as you have been seeing and hearing from Abu Ghraib, when all that scandal was taking place, and the black site in Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, where the prisoners were also being sexually humiliated and ridiculed in all of these kinds of ridiculing ways that the United States government and the CIA are so famous for. They love sexually humiliating people, and of course they will blame the victim for what they are doing to them. And yeah, I'm a victim of the United States government social and political persecution of me, which they are continuously using as the means of conducting this global social engineering and intelligence operation, aka the program, which primarily is in existence to normalize the general publics in the West to authoritarian rules and regimes who are posing as democratic societies while being anything but. So all of our rights and freedoms are being alienated in a rapid pace, and the government can say and do what they want without any kind of regard to law or to any kind of human rights conventions or anything, and they can justify it by saying that your dreams are your own acts, or that your thoughts are the same as some kind of crime, that it's the same as that your thoughts of a crime is the same as acting out a crime in reality, and all this in mind when they're implementing all the kinds of exotic weaponry like synthetic telepathy, the broadcasting of virtual movie fabrications, the coercion of the people through all kinds of subliminal influences through electromagnetic carriers, and as I say, completely outside of the rule of law, with no oversight, no nothing. It's just the government's word, and if you go against the government in any kind of way as a normal civilian, they will literally put you in their propaganda campaigns and ruin your life if you express any if you express any kind of negative things towards them and their agenda. You become a target of this program and these completely out of control states who run the program, and the social and political persecution of these things.